Sid here, and welcome back to another video. If you watched my most recent video, you would know that I redesigned my OCs, and my OCs that I have had for almost 6 years now have undergone lots of development and evolution, especially my main character and protagonist, Princess Destiny. So, in this video, I'm actually going to be showing you guys some of the first versions of my OC and how they look in my current day art style. So yeah, if that sounds interesting to you, then please stay tuned and stick around. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? I know that I'm going to completely overdo this video and it's going to end up being 30 minutes long, but I'm gonna try my best to keep it short, so let's just see how it ends up, you know? Let's pray for the best, guys. So yeah, basically, as you can see right here in the speed paint, this is the original version of Destiny, and this picture that I got in the corner, this reference right here, it is actually from a video game that I used to play, because that was the inspiration for my whole entire story. I'll get to that later on in the video, but I just think this is so funny because I logged into the video game a few days ago because I started playing it for the first time in a while and I had a really great time, but I was in complete shock when I saw her character design because it is so different from the present day version. There is nothing similar about her except the fact that her hair is short. It's completely different, you know? First of all, our first version right here is basically me, but with red hair instead of brown hair. So she's incredibly pale, and she has this very bright red hair. She honestly looks like an Irish person or something, just with brown eyes. I don't even know. But then current modern day Destiny, she has very tan Mediterranean skin and lots of freckles and stuff and green eyes, and she has brown hair. So two completely different designs. The colors are not the same at all. It's just so crazy. How did we get from here to there? I don't even know. But yeah, this is the first version of Destiny, and as you can see right here, she has some amazing armor. I actually do love how stylized it is. I love how it's blue and gold and red. I love that color scheme. It looks very good, and I really like it, but I think it was just too specific to the video game that I couldn't really use it for my own, so I had to come up with my own original stuff and all of that. But even when I did come up with my own stuff, I still used some of these aspects because a lot of her jewelry and accents in her modern day design are gold and red. So yeah, but basically I want to talk a little bit more about the actual storyline of things. Basically, the video game that I was talking about that inspired my whole entire story is Dragon Quest Builders 2. And you might be thinking to yourself, Sid, I have literally never heard of that. It is an insanely underrated video game. It is actually so unbelievably good. In order to keep the runtime of this video a little bit shorter, I won't be going into that much detail on it, but if you want to hear more about it, I did make a video about how great it is and how it is so much better than Minecraft, which is a game that it's very similar to, and I'll have that one linked down below. But basically, it's a video game where you can build and create your own world, but it also has an amazing, very intricate, detailed storyline with tons of amazing characters and a really cool plot to follow. So yeah, I played this game for the first time when I was 10 years old, and I just absolutely fell in love with it in every way imaginable. So it inspired me to make my own story, and it was actually 0% creativity, which is kind of sad because I basically just took the entire story as it was, wrote it down on paper, and then changed the names of a few people. I know lots of people in my community write fan fiction and stuff, and I don't want to completely dunk on fan fiction authors and stuff, but I feel fan fiction isn't really creative because you're taking someone else's world and you're just putting your own stuff into it, but at least you're creating your own original content, you know? 10-year-olds Sydney was not creating her own of anything. She was just taking the stuff that already existed and like changing the names. So that's like even worse than fanfiction. But 10-year-old Sydney did not know any better, so when I wrote it a second time over again when I was a little bit older in 2023, 2 years ago, I did change up a lot more things, and now the storyline is like virtually unrecognizable because I changed it so much. But I might have to add in a little bit more of that original content because my 2023 version, even though I was a little bit older and did have a little bit more writing skill and expertise, is like so much worse than my 2020 version was. Because I think the plot was just so freaking boring, you know? Like, one of the things I struggle with the most as a writer is plot and stuff like that. Like, I can do characters and setting pretty well, and to an extent, if you have good characters, your characters can carry your story, and you don't really need to have that good of a plot. But my plot was just so freaking bad, because pacing is a really important thing when it comes to stories, you know? You can have an amazing plot, but if it's just too long and it just takes too long of a time and it just goes by way too slowly, then it'll feel like absolute trash. So I think my story was pretty good. It was just like too long and slow. So I have to think of some way to either like change it up some or like increase the pacing. But yeah, the story is virtually unrecognizable. In my first draft that I wrote in 2020, it was similar to the video game. The video game, you start off on a prisoner ship and you have to build stuff for the people on there, but then the ship like capsizes and gets lost in a storm, and while you're like drifting through the ocean, you hit your head on a rock and lose your memory and stuff. So you wash up on a new island, but you completely forget who you are. So you have to sort of like start from scratch and build from the ground up. And I did have this in my own original story. The character had amnesia and she forgot who she was, but I did change this in the second draft, the 2023 version, because I feel like your character having amnesia is very, very limiting, even though it's like super duper cool and it's like an incredible challenge for them to come up with, and it can create tons of like internal conflict and stuff. It basically leaves it to where your character can't really have any friends or family, because I know like if I suddenly got amnesia and completely forgot who I was, my friends and family would be like, hey, your name is Sydney and this is who you are, and they basically just give you like a super long info dump about your life and stuff, but that'd be like incredibly boring to read about in a book. So your protagonist would basically have to be like an orphan, and although that is a pretty cool stereotype and I do like that, I think it's not good for Destiny as a character. I think she does benefit from having like her family relationships and stuff, because I think her bond with her dad is pretty unique, her bond with her mom is pretty unique, and I do love those relationships that I established in the 2023 version, and all of her friendships that I established in the 2023 version. But I did transfer some of the amnesia and orphan qualities over to Leona, who is Destiny and Crow's adopted daughter. So yeah, completely unrelated, but just a fun fact right here. When I was writing the first draft of the story, I wrote it in second person point of view, which like every single English teacher tells you explicitly not to do, but my little 10-year-old self, my newbie writer self, I wanted to be a rebel and go against the norms, so I wrote the whole entire thing from like yours perspective, and it was like so cringy. I understand now why you're not supposed to do that, and I will probably never do it again, but I can say it was a pretty funny experience. So yeah. In the video game, you are a descendant of Erdrick, who I think is from the original Dragon Quest game. Fun fact, but I have actually never played the original Dragon Quest game. I am an absolute fraud. I say Dragon Quest Builders 2 is one of my favorite video games of all time, but I literally have not played a single other game in the Dragon Quest series. Kind of sad. There are like 11 Dragon Quest games, and I have not played a single one except for Dragon Quest 11, and that one is incredibly long. There's like 20 chapters, and I'm on like chapter 5. I ended on like Gondolia part where like all the little river gondolas were, I could not make it past there because I could not defeat the boss fight. But yeah, I made it like 1/4 of the way through the story. I did play the original Dragon Quest Builders, but Dragon Quest Builders 2 just had like such a huge impact on me. It changed my life in like so many different ways. Dragon Quest Builders 1, it like had zero effect on me, which is so sad. But yeah, literally, I could talk about Dragon Quest Builders 2 for like 2 hours, but I could not talk about Dragon Quest Builders 1 for like 2 minutes. I literally like retained nothing from that story. So yeah, I just think Dragon Quest Builders 2 is such a beautiful tale about how like when a community of people unites together as one, they can create such beautiful and amazing things. And I just want to take that and make it into my own story, and that was what inspired the original version of my story. So yeah, but anyways, I'm going to be moving on to the next one because I do know this video is getting kind of long already and I don't want it to last forever. But the next one I decided to draw was basically just like a hybrid version. When I logged into the game, I literally did not recognize my character as Destiny, so I decided to make her look more like the Destiny we know today by giving her a slightly darker skin tone, like more of a suntanned Mediterranean tone, and by making her hair brown and giving her green eyes. So I tried to do that in the in-game menu because you can change your outfit and your appearance and stuff by going over to like a dressing table / vanity and just sort of mixing up your appearance. There's also options to like change your outfit and stuff, so I changed her outfit from the blue armor to more of like a traveler's outfit. In the game, when I'm playing it right now, I do have her wearing a slightly better outfit, but I didn't want to have to draw that one for this video. I do like this one right here. I think it looks pretty cute. I do like it as an actual outfit, and I might consider giving Destiny an outfit sort of like this for her actual storyline. But this one's just sort of like a pink tunic with like a sort of light white blouse underneath it, and brown gloves, brown boots, and brown belt, and all that great stuff with golden accents and a blue scarf and some sapphire earrings and all of that great stuff. I think it looks really cute, and I do think it is a great blend of the absolute original first design ever and our current design for the modern day and age where we are right now. So yeah, but I'll talk a little bit more about the original characters in the first version of the game based on the video game. The 2020 version of the story, basically, Crow is this guy whose name is Malroth in the video game. He is like an absolute psychopath serial killer in the video game, which is kind of insane because Crow, our bestest boy as we know him today, is like the most kind-hearted, sweet, and empathetic boy you'll ever meet, who just loves playing the guitar and making blueberry pancakes. But Malroth was like an absolute sinner in comparison to that, which is kind of crazy. Their appearances are like really different. I did give him like the bone armor because I think that looks really cool. He had this super long spiky black hair and these really dark devilish red eyes. He also had these two like spikes on his hair, like sort of demon horns or something like that. And although Crow's hair looks sort of similar to that, especially in my earlier designs of Crow from like 2023, I just basically made him into that, but I gave him blue hair instead of black hair. But his current design looks a lot different from that. Basically, this design is a lot more like Ash, because, you know, Ash looks very similar to this, it's just that his hair is shorter, but I think Crow's hair is sort of similar to this, it's just that it's blue instead of black. So yeah, but it's still very like long, and he does have similar like sharp facial features and all of that great stuff. Other characters, originally I had a character whose name was Penelope. She was taken from Lulu from the second game, sort of blended with Pippa from the first game. Basically, in my original version of the story, instead of it being like light and darkness, it was creation versus destruction. And I also added in, this was one of the only original aspects that I added, so cheers for that. She was like the entity of protection, So that was pretty interesting. But she was basically like gray hair and blue dress. That was really all I remember of her. But yeah, there's also 3 main characters from the Dragon Quest Builders 2 game and from the 2020 version of the story, Draft 1. Those were Rosie, Babs, and Anessa. They're like the 3 main girl bosses that you meet in the story, and I love them so much. I'll have to talk about them more in another video, but although they don't have any direct translations in my current version of the story, if I had to tie one character closely to each of them, I'd say Rosie probably matches the most with Brianna, Babs probably matches the most with Evelyn, and most obviously, Anessa probably matches the most with Lexi, but they're not one-for-one comparisons because they are incredibly different. Rosie is a very kind and sweet person, which Brianna is too, but Brianna is a baker and Rosie is a gardener slash farmer. Babs is probably the most different because literally, Babs in the video game is like a sexy dancer or something. Don't even ask, I have no idea. But in my story, Evelyn is like very different. She's sort of like a chaotic, crazy little fashionista girl. So she makes her own like clothing and stuff like that. She's sort of like a fashion designer and all of that great stuff. And Anessa, she's pretty much the same. She's like the slay girl boss character. She's like the tough warrior queen, you know, the soldier in the army, and so is Lexi. But Anessa is like the freaking princess of Moonbrook or something like that in the video game, and Lexi has no such personal connections. So yeah, but I do love how my characters have developed and changed over time because I really love the versions that I have in the current modern day and age, and I just love them so much. But I probably would have never gotten them if I never had these original characters from the video game to base them off of and to get ideas from, you know? So yeah, and although Destiny has changed a lot over time because obviously as the main character of the video game, she's sort of like a blank slate for the player to see themselves in, so she didn't really have much of a personality, but Destiny has definitely developed her own personality over the course of the years, and I do love the person that she has become and grown to be very much. As I said in my post, I'm just sort of like a proud parent of my OCs at this point. Like, I love getting to see them grow and develop over time. It's been such a magical journey, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else, you know? So yeah, but I just love all of my OCs, and I love how this story has taken me so far, and yeah, it's definitely gonna need some rewriting and some changes and some tweaks and stuff, but I never would have gotten where I am today if I had never played Dragon Quest Builders 2 way back when, almost 8 years ago now. So yeah, it's kind of insane to think it's been that long. It's been 6 years since I came up with the original idea for the story. It's been 3 years since I came up with like the revamped idea for the story, and it's been about 3 years since I came up with the like OCs as I know them today. So it's just been such an insane journey. My advice for other people watching this video, if you are a young creative, even if you are very young like how I was when I first wrote the original version of my story in 2020, please just do anything you need to write and start creating, you know? Because procrastination is like the enemy of creativity, and even if you have to write fan fiction, even if you have to copy the story of something that you love word for word, then just go ahead and do it, because once you get the creative ideas spinning around in your head, you'll come up with something truly unique and truly special to you, and that is just worth so much more than anything, you know? So yeah, but I hope this video has been really cool, just getting to see like the origins of my story and all that great stuff and all of that. I'm definitely gonna make another video just going into depth on like each of the characters and where they started and where they are today, because I think that would just be a really cool video that I would love to go further in depth on. So if you want to see that, please comment down below and let me know. But yeah, anyways, anyways, that's pretty much it for today. I'm gonna be wrapping things off. Thank you so much for staying tuned and sticking around and watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe because it always helps me out so much when you do, and I really appreciate it. It helps to boost my YouTube channel into the algorithm so that more people like you can see my videos, which is always such an amazing thing because I love it when other artists in the community get to see my artwork, and it always means so much to me. And yeah, it also helps you because if you did indeed enjoy watching this video, then it'll help you to stay tuned and get notified for even more coming out in the future. I, unlike most other YouTubers, post videos very frequently. Even though I am a very busy person, I still manage to upload multiple long-form videos every single week and multiple short-form videos every single day. So no matter what, I can almost guarantee that you will always have something fun and interesting to watch, and you'll never be bored. And yeah, if you don't believe me, just check out my channel homepage. I have 1.4 thousand videos up there, and the count is just increasing as the days go on. I don't have any plans to stop anytime soon. I'm going to be doing YouTube videos till the day I die, baby. And yeah, I do have other social media accounts if you want to go follow me on there, like my Instagram account, Pinterest account, Roblox account, Unveil account, and ArtFind account. There's lots of different benefits on each of those. You get to see content before it releases on YouTube. You get to see more of my OCs and learn more about them and all that great stuff. If you want to go click on those, it'll have links in the description box down below. But even if you just have YouTube and that's the only social media that you're on, watching this video up until this point just means so much to me. So yeah, thank you so much to this person up here on screen for this amazing fan art. I don't know who it is yet, but I am always so grateful for people drawing my OCs. It always means so much to me and brightens up my whole day. And yeah, I hope you all guys all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Always remember that I love you, and goodbye, eat more waffles, and peace out, Girl Scouts.